Good evening and welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy V. I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Biting by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, it is the post-game show. I'm joined by Dom DeRubis of Sideline Sports. Sooner or later, we also will be joined by Dan Leonard of Mad Lab Custom Creations. It is the post-game show. Pretty much, I know there isn't a lot of positives, but there is a few I want to talk about, that should give the Lions fans a little bit of hope going forward. That being said, this picture sums it up. Second week in a row, no offensive touchdowns, but at least we scored. Hallelujah, we have a kicker. We didn't go super aggressive. We didn't go for it on fourth down every time. We actually punted the ball. We played field positional football. The defense looked great for 3.5 quarters. And then on the 1-yard line, the unthinkable happens. A guy that never fumbled.
It's my fault.
Joseph Jones says that picture, though. Yeah. Thanks, Joseph. Dom, give me your hot players for the game.
Josh Pascal, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph. That's about it. Jack Fox, Michael Badgley. Was he? I know he was signed. Was he active 2 weeks ago?
He was signed to the practice squad. He did practice, but he had a slight injury problem from the game he had with the Bears, which is why they actually cut him to begin with.
So did we have an active kicker against the Patriots?
No. Oh. Which is why we went 0 for 6.
Then that's slightly more forgivable.
We didn't have a kicker that was active because he was actually on the injured list.
Well, we did. We just didn't have a guy that could hold for Jack Fox. By the way, congratulations to Jack Fox for becoming the highest paid punter in the NFL. You, sir, deserve it. He is number 1 in the NFL for the last 3 years on gross. Not net, but gross. 49 yards per punt.
All right. My hot players, and this is going to get a lot of chagrin, but he also was a cold player at the same time.
Don't say it.
I'm saying it. Jared Goff did go 21-26, which was his best completion percentage output. You forgot one player on defense, Jeff Okudah.
Oh, my gosh. Shame on me.
I can't believe you forgot that. He's actually proving he was worth that 3rd pick overall lately, the way he's playing this season.
He is a monster in run defense.
Aiden got 1.5 sacks, Jones. The other one was shared with Anzalone.
So 5. So really only 3 footballs that Jared Goff threw hit the ground.
Yes. And 2 was because he was avoiding the sack and running out of the pocket, and he threw it out of bounds because no one was open.
You know what I saw it might have been in one of the groups that we're in, but somebody posted a screenshot, and it was a deep ball that he missed to Khalif Raymond. Goff
Mm-hmm.
tends to drift further back rather than step up into a clean pocket. And clearly he's got clean pockets often.
But my other hot players, you got to add Kaminsky in there because without that defensive interior eating up blocks, Hutchinson and Pascal and Okuda's not getting past the D line or the O lines to make the tackles for loss.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We both said it earlier in the week. Like, Kaminsky coming back is huge. And you get Pascal, and then look at that. All of a sudden, Hutch gets 2 sacks again. Dallas' O-line is pretty good. It's better than Washington's. I think they're starting to deploy Hutchinson properly.
Right, they finally moved him to outside linebacker.
Wait a minute. I didn't see the first 5 minutes of the game. Bleacher Report says Jamal Williams had 2 fumbles lost, but no, that's not right.
He had 1. There was 3 fumbles in the game, and 2 of them. One was, like I said, he's bringing the ball up to pass it. Doesn't even know the guy's right there because he's looking at the guy that's open on the left-hand side, and Armstrong just pulled it out of his hand. He didn't even have to hit him. Oh.
You know what the worst part is? Well,
What's that?
one of many bad parts, and including that long pass that he didn't even, like I said, didn't step up into the pocket and throw. But Khalif Raymond led the team in targets and catches.
Yes, he did. He had 5 receptions, right?
For 75. But I also saw they utilized Brock Wright. I think Brock Wright is good enough to replace Hawkinson for a lot less money. Is he not?
Who knows? The verdict's out.
He'll be a lot cheaper.
But we're stuck with him already because we picked up the option for Hawkinson.
That's right. I didn't even see Kennedy have those 2 catches.
I did. Mum was a key third down.
Bleacher Report, is that right? Okuda had 15 tackles.
Yes, only person in double digits.
12 solo.
Yep.
Deshaun Elliott has been playing very good on a bad defense.
Yep.
And
Kirby played well.
Or Aurier wasn't bad.
No, he was actually decent this time. But once they got gassed, it was over.
Wait, Jared Goff had 2 tackles?
Yep.
One of them on his own interception or fumble, and maybe one on the Williams fumble.
Yeah, I don't know if that was it had to be.
It's like I said, finding. I mean, it's interesting because it's different. It's new, but what if I told you what was the score at halftime?
6-3 Lions.
Right. I mean, and Dallas's offense isn't that good, but it's not bad either. Like, the defense finally steps up, and now the offense can't do anything. I think this is because the offense looked great.
I don't know what anybody expected to do once Amon-Ra went out, because without Swift in there, without Amon-Ra, there's no real playmakers on the offense. TJ Hawkinson has been hit and miss all season.
He's had one good game, and he's been mostly invisible the rest of the time.
Well, when you don't have playmakers, guess what they do? They focus on Hawk because he would be the playmaker. We saw this last year.
That's why Brock Wright had those catches.
Exactly.
I don't know why Reynolds only had 2 targets, but I think he's banged up, and they're just asking him all week up to and including right before game time. Like, hey, can you please play?
And the Colt players at the same time, with 4 turnovers, is Jared Goff. With a fumble on the 1, Jamal Williams. But everybody forgets that Josh Reynolds did have the big first down catch, the 22-yard catch at the end of the game. I don't even know why he's not getting credit for that, because that was huge. When we were trying to move the ball into scoring position when we were only down by a score and a half.
Yeah, it's literally not there. I don't trust Bleacher Report for the box scores anymore.
Because you saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he laid out and caught the pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. That's
and I literally called. Oh wait, I know why it wasn't, because it was called back on a holding penalty.
Yeah. Yep.
That wasn't a hold, but that's another story. And the first interception wasn't an interception.
It may or may have not been, but that's literally the first time in my life, not just watching Lions Cowboys games, not just watching Lions games, watching NFL games when they started automatically reviewing a turnover. Even Romo, the biggest Cowboys homer on earth besides maybe Troy Aikman, was like, why didn't they review it? And that was critical. Like, that could have changed the game, you know? Like, when they came back from commercial, they were like, why didn't they review it? Oh, no. Did we lose you, Jeremy?
No, I'm here.
I was good. I can't do this on my own.
No, you're good.
Also, that punt return that Turpin had, that was big.
That was a big play. So what's funny is the offensive side of special teams started working and the tackling on special teams stopped.
Right.
Like I said, I said it just right in my review that I wrote about this. It never fails every week. When one side plays good, the other two don't.
Mm-hmm. We had them in time of possession. They had us in yards by 18. We outpassed them. They outrushed us. We got in a fist fight about penalties. We out-penaltied the most penalized team for 2 years, but 5 turnovers. 5.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but like you said, Tony Romo even said, why aren't the refs reviewing it like they're supposed to be?
I did see, I want to say in the first quarter, maybe the second quarter, they threw a flag on us and they picked it up. And I was like, oh man, did we finally get even for 8 years ago in that playoff game? Because that's the only other time I've seen it since then.
Yep.
It's just that's what we do. Like, the defense finally plays pretty good.
And yes, they're not a full deck yet. And I've admitted that. And I'm going to acknowledge it now. James Stricker was negative before anything needed to be negative. And I've been done with him for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's even blocked from the show.
It's just like we thought. Like, the stats said otherwise, but I was like, okay, no way the offense is really this good. Much like I said, okay, no way the defense is really this bad.
The offense can't be that good with all the true playmakers out.
True.
Because we've said since last year to this year, without good pieces around him, Goff won't look good.
Right.
Guess what we got? The same exact thing what we had after Seafence went down.
Like, forget the fact that Vitae is still out and will be all year. But if we had Shark and JMO and Swift, yeah, it potentially could be the number one offense in the league.
Well, it was with just Shark out there as a decoy. He had one touchdown catch in the 4 games he played.
Mm-hmm. But also, the defense isn't
able to key up on everybody underneath. Now the defense is good. We just need the playmakers healthy.
Well,
and I've said it before.
It's not good. It's less terrible. It's going to be right about what we wanted. Chances are, offense will be top 10, and just get the defense to 25.
Well, we said top 15. We said top 15. Let's be realistic. They're going to have their fall from grace after these few weeks that they're going through
offense?
these. Yeah.
No, that's a top 10 offense. If we don't finish in the top 10, it depends on how you come up with your. I mean, are you saying? I mean, to me, it's points. But yards should factor into that. Points and yards. That's a top 10 offense for sure.
Right.
So it should be.
It's probably still there close to that because we were at 35 before this. We still scored 6. I think we dropped to, what was it, 25 points still after the shutout?
Yeah.
So we're probably going to drop to about 20 points now.
Oh, here's the highlights.
Oh, God.
Greg Rice, I think, made a great point, and we're going to have some free agent money. Like, please, for the love of God, forget trying to draft a fucking running back. They won't do it. Because Zeke is old and overpaid. I want Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I mean, every QB needs weapons. Brady, Rodgers, and Mahomes. Mahomes is the only one with halfway decent weapons out of the 3. Am I wrong?
Wait, Brady, Mahomes, and who?
Rodgers. I said Mahomes has the best overall wide receiver group out of all of them right now. With the way they're playing, you can't say Tampa does.
Well, I mean, Mike Evans is the most consistent receiver in the NFL for like 7 years. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about Godwin.
Yep.
I don't. They went and gave money to that guy from Atlanta, Russell Gage. Yep. I'm hoping and praying that this is Tom Brady staying that extra year, or I hope he doesn't retire for 5 years and just Joe Namath's his way out of the NFL. It's hard to say with Rodgers because who knows how good these young receivers actually are. They don't. Oh, look, Kenneth Walker, touchdown.
Yeah, I know. That being said, let's get back to this. We said all offseason, no matter what, Goff is a good quarterback when he has good pieces around him. When he doesn't, it's not great at all. It's bad for the most part.
Well, yeah, true. And I said, shit, pretty much since week 1, he's playing over his head. Because he was.
He really wasn't, though. He was not lighting. The only thing he was doing was his receivers were getting touchdowns.
And Swift was healthy. I mean, Shark really didn't do a whole lot.
Other than week 1, he had a touchdown versus Philly.
Right.
And that was towards the end of the game when we were playing catch-up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
hello, Jessica.
Does JMO win us one of those games? Probably not.
No, but will he be able to keep a defense keep a defense honest by not allowing them to stack the box against the run if Swift is out?
True. It doesn't matter if they stack the box. Like, we still get. Actually, I'd be interested to see. What's your guess for the whole season? Yards per carry.
Yards per carry right now, we're probably sitting at about 4.8.
That high? Career leaders, get out of here. I don't know that it's 4.8.
At one point, it was 10 point something with Swift. He's still averaging 9 yards a carry or 8.6.
Wow, that can't be right. What? 5.3.
I told you, we have got a good running game.
But guess what? Giving up 5.3.
Right. It's a wash. Yeah, Swift is at 7.6 yards per carry right now.
Passing, net yards per attempt, we're 6.7. We give up 7.3. 11 passing, 6 picks. Giving up 9, and we have 2 picks.
Yeah. So I was right. Goff is at 6 picks right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the only good thing about his 2 picks this week? Neither one were touchdowns.
Wow. You looked real hard for that silver lining.
Not really. It was obvious. I watched the game.
I saw something different. They must have lied, because I thought, this is what I was trying to look at right before we came on. I saw something somewhere said he was at 65%. He's at 62.
Goff is?
Yeah. 11 TDs, 6 picks. 1583 and 6.
Yeah, you know what? You could say he cost us games, but the first game he missed, Jamal Williams had a fantastic game against the Seahawks. So that's not true. What cost us games is we have too many wide receivers that are out there. They're supposed to be 1, 2, and 3.
I can't. I don't know, unless maybe I'm forgetting something. One at the most. I can't put any of these losses on Goff. Like, should his completion percentage be higher? Sure. But he got put behind the 8 ball immediately week 1 when we had 38 drops.
Well, it wasn't that many, but yeah, I know. Like I said, Lomas Brown and Dan Miller said it was 16, and the final count was 9 drops in the game.
I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom.
No problem. The next week, we had 6 drops. The next week, we had 7 drops. So that right there is 9, 15, 22 incompletions due to drops, and we know there was drops in this game. There's way too many drops. There's a lot of inconsistencies that aren't all his fault. But yet, it's happened. And just like every other same old Lions fan, we're going to blame the QB every time, no matter what, even if he has a great game and we lose. Yep, here we go. There it is. Jay Zertis, our wide receivers are also lowest in the league in separation distance per PFF. Now take that with a grain of salt, but of course it's still a bad indicator. You're absolutely right. And a lot of that separation started to go away after Shark was hurt.
And Goff's longest traveled ball in the air for a completion all year is 26 yards.
Yep. And that also was to Shark. That was the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Because it actually flew 30 yards in the air, but they only count to the goal line.
Right.
and he was 3 of 7 after 2 weeks. Then it was 3 of 10. Then it's now 3 of 15 on passes over 25 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of the turnovers was in garbage time. It's not garbage time if you're trying to win a fucking game, right? Anybody can say what you want. You call it garbage time, but it's not garbage time if you're trying to win a game. You know what I hate, Dom? Is when people say garbage time. If the game is close and you're trying to win a game, there's no such fucking thing as garbage time.
True. Garbage time to me, and actually...
Are you just now tuning in, Tyler Lee Black? Because I'm going to tell you something. They haven't figured us out because we don't have all of our weapons on the field.
I was going to say, the only time it's not garbage time, or no. I was going to say like the rushing yards when you're up by 30. But that's
garbage time.
Technically it's garbage time, but that's what you're supposed to do. You know?
We didn't have Swift. Amon-Ra went out in the second drive of the game. Shark wasn't there. So you got J-Mo's still not healthy. So your 1, 2, and 3 wide receivers are out. Correct?
Yeah.
And I don't know any QB who makes your 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 receivers better.
Not even Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers.
Or Matt Stafford. Especially not this season.
That O-line is just... whew. Apparently, the rest of their O-line was severely overrated. Wait, where's the
look at
tackle?
This. We have an intelligent football fan right here. Yep, Shark was the deep man, Amon-Ra possession man, and Reynolds was the wild card. All 3 are hurt, and Reynolds hasn't looked right since he hurt his ankle either. And garbage time is mostly mythical. Anything within 16 points is not garbage time. And he's absolutely right.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier about Reynolds. Like, he's the only one, apparently on a week-to-week basis, that is just good enough to go.
Right. And yes, that was whoever does concussion protocol made the call and said to pull Amon-Ra St. Brown. He passed concussion protocol after the game. He's probably going to be available this coming week. Thank God. Now let's just hope that Shark can get over whatever the mental thing, because he was in limited practice, no practice.
He's wearing a walking boot, isn't he?
I know, but he's been cleared by the medical staff to play.
I mean, like I said from when we drafted J-Mo, like, please don't rush him back when Shark gets hurt.
And we haven't.
Especially now, because it doesn't matter.
And James Burgess says Reynolds is noticeably gimpy, but he's trying. Absolutely. And say what you want, that first interception that was given to Diggs, that was not an interception. Tony Romo called it out. Our own sideline reporter during the game reported they're not even coming over to the review booth to look at this because every turnover is to be reviewed in the NFL.
Diggs get that one? I guess he did.
And that is why it is not a reviewable play anymore by coaches. You can't throw the flag because it's a penalty.
I thought Diggs got the one later when it was like horribly underthrown and he like fell down but still caught it.
Very true. No weapons, but I meant the game was ready, getting out of hand, and we was trying to make things happen.
I mean, I saw, and I've been saying this, I didn't see it so much last year. This year more so. Probably because he's pressing, because he's short on weapons. Like it, at least 4 or 5 times a game, I see Jared Goff tell himself and then throw the ball like he's got a Matt Stafford arm. And half the time, Stafford couldn't even complete that pass. But Jared Goff definitely can't.
That being said, he should be sitting at 5 interceptions right now. Because if they'd have replayed it, and replay was clear as a bell, you can see it hitting the ground with no control. He goes, replay, not reply. Haha.
Well, oh, that leads in perfectly to what I was going to say. But I mean, it's in the book. It's not quite a 2-1, and
it's like 1.75 to 1 right now.
It's leveling out. It's 6 games, right?
7 games. Oh yeah, 6 games played.
Suffice it to say, my guess is okay. So 6 games, he's got 1,583 yards, 11 TDs, 6 picks.
Yep.
Extrapolated to 17 games, that's 4,485 yards, 31 TDs, 17 picks. I would bet the farm that he doesn't hit any of those numbers. Unless we have more injuries on the O-line. And the count is now at, I feel like it should be easier to remember because it's just adding 1. 23 games and 0 snaps with our, and I don't know, it was the other guy, not Romo, the play-by-play guy. He's like, if they had Vitae.
Yeah. I don't know if Vitae would have helped against this D-line right here last week.
It wouldn't have. Sewell did a great job on Parsons, though.
Yeah, Parsons only got 1 sack.
No, it's more so the injuries on the D-line, and look what happened when we got Kaminsky back, and then Pascal finally started.
The biggest boon to our defense is the bump on the D-line was a healthy scratch. Michael Brockers did not play, as I called as soon as Pascal came back healthy. Did I not say this? Like
yes.
3 weeks ago, Dom?
Yeah. And you know what else?
Yeah.
This year's version of Oruwariye last year, because Akuda got hurt, it's at the safety spot, and it's Kirby Joseph because Walker's hurt.
And he says, speaking of dropped INTs, Kirby is getting close. He needs to hang on to one soon. You know what? It's kind of hard to hold on to one when you're, what is he, 6 foot tall and 220, when you got a 6'3", 250-pound linebacker leaping at you because he thought you were the receiver. You know what I'm talking about there, right?
It says 6'1", 203, but I think he weighs more than that.
He looks more than that, but that could be just padding too.
But you know what? He's getting snaps, and he's
how
playing
about,
better.
Let's give it up for Kirby Joseph for forcing a fumble.
That was a great
Granted, it was on accident. The tackle was fucking amazing.
You know what it was? What was it? CD Lamb he hit, or it was Lamb, right?
Yeah.
And he did it.
It was that Noel Brown, 85.
Oh yeah, did a front flip.
Yeah, and the ball hit his heel as he was diving through, or his leg or something.
You know why? Because he did not give a fuck about holding onto that ball. He just wanted to make sure he didn't land on his head.
Right, and I don't blame him.
And you know what else?
James Burgess says that tackle was great. It was, because he was trying to leap over him, and I'm sorry, Noah Brown isn't that much taller than Kirby.
No, he's not.
Did Brown catch anything after that? He caught 2 more passes.
Yeah,
all
I
at
think
the
so.
sideline. All at the sideline.
Elliott has been playing well also,
Yep.
but I feel like it's unfortunately only a matter of time before he gets hurt. So
Well, you know what? He did have that season where he played really well and played, what was it? I think he played 16 games but missed the playoffs that year.
yeah,
Lamar's MVP year.
yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah. And everybody says, oh, it's how he tackles. Every single one of his injuries have been non-contact. Did you know that?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot he went to Texas.
Yep.
I like the
2020.
last safety that we had that went to Texas once we finally put him at safety.
Oh, Quandre Diggs.
Mm-hmm. The small
Yes.
corner who hit like a linebacker and played safety.
Yep. But now we got a cornerback that's as tall as a linebacker, but built like a corner and hits like a safety. Jeff Okudah.
Okudah's been great, and you've not seen the
I want
you've
everyone who's ever watched my show and said Okudah would bust this year to apologize.
no, we said it.
I know, but we've had fans that would pop in and say, "Oh, he's gonna bust," blah blah
And
blah blah blah.
the thing is, he came in under. I mean, other than the fact that yeah, he was the first round pick and it was like a prove it year, but he came in under a relatively small amount of pressure. Like AO looked like a number one after last year. We weren't expected to do a whole lot. The pass rush.
Oh, fake Dan Campbell says he might resign.
The pass rush overall has been better. Okudah just it's making it not look like that bad of a pick.
Right. And I've said that I did a player focus on him. You read it.
Yep. Still should have kept Slay.
I didn't say we shouldn't. I never said we shouldn't. But at the time, we offered Slay more than Philly did to re-sign him after we traded him.
He wanted to leave. Thank you,
He
Matt
wanted
Patricia.
to leave. Thank you, Matt Patricia and Boob Quinn. Matt Patricia.
It's fine. I mean, Slay was a second round pick, so it wasn't like as big of a deal. But like everyone was after his rookie year, they're like, "Oh, he sucks." I'm like, he looked sucky, but
All
I
I
saw
got
things.
to say to fake Dan Campbell: if the real Dan Campbell resigns right now, he's softer than a marshmallow. Am I wrong in that statement?
No, but I mean, I don't. Oh, it's he and we as fans wanting to see this team get better in the short term and the long term. It's a no-win situation.
Oh, I've seen improvements here and there, and I've seen failures. Oh, Jesus. Now fake Jared Goff. My arm is a noodle, coach.
It's not. He doesn't have a top 10 arm. He doesn't have a bottom 10 arm.
It's a middle of the road.
He also has. He's seen what 3 games total out of his 2 best deep threats. He did not even see Khalif Raymond on that
Until
one
this
play.
week. Yeah.
He was there, and like I said earlier, Goff tends to drift back. Right, like, dude, there's a pocket there. You know that there is. Step up and throw it. I don't care to who, but no, Dan Campbell is in a bad spot, and I said it. I said it as soon as they made that hire. Like, you don't. Really, it's just giving Brad Holmes a pass. Because I don't think Brad Holmes would have hired Dan Campbell, but who would he have hired? Some other guy with no head coach. At least Dan Campbell had some interim head coaching experience. he's the right type of guy, I think, for this team. But it,
Let's see. Aaron Glenn says, I guess I shut mouths up, baby. Not really. Did you win? Did our team win?
not his fault.
Didn't say that. Did our team win? Did our team win? That's the end of the game. End of the day. Did our team win?
Not his fault, though. The defense finally showed up.
Yeah, the defense showed up. Thank God you finally listened to millions of people who was telling you, hey, move Hutchinson to outside linebacker because he's too small for DN in the NFL. Hallelujah. Entirely Black said no. Until we start winning, nobody's going to stop bitching. Nobody's going to stop blaming Goff. Nobody's going to stop blaming Dan Campbell. Nobody's going to stop blaming Aaron Glenn. That's how it works. You know this. We've seen it a million times. It's SOLF. Same old line fan base.
Yep.
We've seen it with Stafford. He went away. Oh, man, we should have kept all the 99% of those people that said we should have kept Stafford were the ones that wanted him gone.
I wanted him gone 3 years ago to Dallas for 75 draft picks.
Right.
And I still can't say if it was a good move or not. And I won't be able to say for at least
a year.
Two more.
At least a year.
Minimally a year.
Right.
I would have been able to say maybe after this year, but we've still got one more first-round pick that we got from him. It just depends on who that is and what they do.
Coach Matt Eberflus, I took a break from tonight's game to say Lions suck. So do your Bears.
I mean, if we're being honest, every division in the entire league that isn't an East division pretty much sucks.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the NFC East or the AFC East, everybody's mediocre.
Like they're like I want to believe that the Eagles are that good because their roster is that good. And there's virtually no competition. Like, who's the second best team in the NFC? Is it the fucking Giants? Is it the Giants?
It's the Giants.
The Giants, who are supposed to be terrible. The Seahawks are in first place by themselves with Geno Smith.
Do you remember when we did the NFC East? The biggest window I gave of wins was the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I said was Coach Brian Daboll.
Mm-hmm. And how many games Saquon plays.
Right. I said with Saquon coming back healthy and everything else, that team could surprise a lot of teams. And guess what? They have. James Bridges, Seahawks, Jets, Super Bowl. It might be Giants, Jets. Wouldn't that be crazy?
If that happens, I mean, they can't do it. But if they could,
they need to move it back to New York.
Oh, how awesome would that be? They did that once and they lucked out on weather. Oh, Judon got a sack? Perfect.
Bustin' Fields is happening as we speak. Daboll and Nick Suckanatsack, whatever his name is for the Eagles, are up for Coach of the Year.
Sirianni.
And right behind them is Robert Saleh with what he's doing with the Jets.
The thing is, like, I mean, first of all, the whole NFL is a mess. Oh, John Tavai. The whole NFL is a mess. None of the 5 to 10 teams that people thought would be good are. None of the 5 to 10 teams that people thought would be awful are. But really, it's because September is the new preseason.
Yep. And let's say we go to the end of the season and the two worst teams have a tie record. We need to come up with a new bowl game for the NFL called the Toilet Bowl, and whoever wins gets the second
Yes.
pick.
Yes. Exactly. So you can't tank. You could
Right.
tank your way down to there. That's how my fantasy league that I've been in for 16 years is. You could tank your way into the bottom 4, but then you got to win 2 games to get that number 1 pick.
I agree. And how about them Panthers upsetting the Buccaneers? Jeanette, what's your friend's name, Jeanette, that we do the one podcast? The Panthers fan?
Oh, yeah, Jen Matthews. You know, it's funny.
Jen Matthews, you should be jumping for joy.
They're terrible, though. They don't, like, it's a good win, but, like, now she realizes how bad they are, and you're just screwing up your draft pick. You know what's funny? She made, like, a lengthy, I mean, I can't say angry, but she was very, like, convicted about what she said. She's like, we're not trading CMC.
I know.
3 days later, I was like, yeah, you should have traded him in the offseason for Deshaun Watson.
Not wrong.
Instead you went and got Baker, and much like I told her, I was like, you're just praying for Sam Darnold to come back. At least they didn't trade Brian Burns, although for 2 more first-round picks, I probably would have.
As long as they weren't in the same year.
They're going to be bad, too. Maybe that's our mark. Somebody, you know what?
It's the Raiders.
Derek Carr is not that old. I'm not giving him.
No. Who's going to end up worse than us?
No
The only reason
way.
why they haven't lost another game is because they had a bye week.
Wait, don't they have 2 now?
Yeah, they're at the 2. They're 1-4. We're 1-5.
Oh, they only got that 1 win.
Yeah. Because they had 3 games they were leading and they gave up the lead. They are a worse version of the Ravens.
It's apparently it was just a rumor, but week 1 of the preseason, Josh Jacobs had like 17 carries, and all the pundits were like, "Oh, they're showcasing him for a trade," and now look at him. He's got more touchdowns than he has kids, and he has a lot.
Yep.
I always like Josh Jacobs.
It's time for me to do a shout out to the sponsors. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you with auto mechanic services at Cucaulin on Old Cucaulin Road, Bay City on Broadway, and Saginaw on Genesee Street where I work. Great used tires at a great price and great prices on new tires too, and excellent service. And Mad Lab Custom Creations, a Facebook page where you can get into breaks to get some pretty cool signed merchandise. You also can get your signed merchandise, as in your mini and full-size helmets, painted in custom paint jobs with drips, rips, flames, all sorts of good, crazy stuff that Dan Leonard does over there. Don't forget, share this with whatever groups you're a part of. Share it wherever you want. I need this to grow. I'm sitting at 174 subscribers. Please subscribe, like, and share on YouTube. That being said, Dom, you got any final thoughts?
I'm looking at a mock draft. I don't want Bryce Young. I'm out on CJ Stroud. There goes
Why are you out on CJ Stroud other than the fact he comes from OSU because he was developed in high school?
Because there's something in the water there. I'm telling you, it's not like it's a real thing. Who do they got us taking with 19? Seattle's not going to finish that low. How old is this friggin' article? It doesn't say. Oh, no, it's today. 1 day ago.
What?
Seattle's not that low. They're in friggin' first place.
Yeah. And Pete Carroll, he's up there for Coach of the Year. He goes, Art. Oh, wait, never mind.
Tankathon Pro Football Network. This has Houston at the top. That's probably more likely. I don't think they take a quarterback either. What's wrong with Davis Mills? I keep seeing these trade rumors, like any wide receiver that appears to be expendable, you name it, to Green Bay.
I know.
I think they still come back and win the division.
I don't at this point.
Aaron Rodgers is the NFL's darling. He will make sure that enough of Kirk Cousins' games get flexed to prime time.
No,
It's like when we played Minnesota earlier in the year. I'm like, can we flex it to prime time?
Oh, I begged for that.
I'm pretty sure they've still got a couple coming up.
I agree, James Burgess. That's where I'm at. I just want to see improvement.
We've been saying that for 2 years. But the thing is...
And we did at first. When we saw everybody healthy, we saw what the offense is capable of.
Listen. Sweeping Green Bay looks a lot more possible now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Losing to the Jets looks a lot more possible now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. Losing to the Jets and Giants looks very possible with the way they're both playing.
And the Jags.
Yeah, the Jags are... What? They've lost their last 4 games in a row now.
Are they 2-4?
3-4, I think.
We should be able to beat the Dolphins. Oh, look at that. Oh, Raiders have 2 wins. They won this week. Broncos are in last, just like I predicted.
Raiders played?
Yeah, yesterday. Josh Jacobs went apeshit.
Oh.
Stuff. Sorry, YouTube. How did the Titans have 4 wins?
James Burgess, this is getting a star. Aaron Rodgers lost interest since his squeeze left him.
No, you know what it is? He got that money. Before he got that money, he pretty much, he didn't tell the world, but he doesn't care about winning titles. You know what he cares about?
Money.
Yeah, but football-wise. Cares about his passer rating and his touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Buccaneers just lost to who?
Yeah, the Panthers.
3-4. Wow. 3-4 and in first place.
Yeah.
This is why I love football.
There's so much parity now it isn't even funny. You say what you want, but even at 1-5, we're still listed as in the hunt.
We're not. Yeah, because there's 3 teams in the whole conference with a winning record. 4, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
4.
He's been like that with his INTs for a while. He'll throw it away before attempting a tight window. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's smart.
It is smart football.
Because you never throw a pick when you throw it away. And he's got a good enough arm. Like, he can fit it into that window.
Yep.
He's probably got, I've said it for 5 years. He's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. And I don't even know who number 2 is.
Yep.
Between arm strength, accuracy, relative mobility. He's just really, really good. It's kind of like Dan Marino, but he's more mobile.
We're not the most injured team in the NFL yet, but you know what? We're damn close.
We're trying.
Unfortunately.
And it's not okay. So hear me out. We beat the Foreskins. Foreskins beat Green Bay. So
and the Bears.
That leads me to believe we're better than Green Bay, right?
And they also beat the Bears with Wentz.
I mean, we're the only bad team, or what was forecasted as a bad team that looks bad.
I know.
Other than the Texans. Oh, Jags are 2-5. Oof.
Yeah.
Thought
That's what I was saying. No, that's Houston that has the tie.
And the Jags still have one more win than us.
Yep.
And we might not get one against them. I'm so glad for my big money fantasy team that James Robinson got traded today, because he was healthy on Sunday, and I was like, what is he? I'm like, he has no carries. He had one target.
Yep.
What's his name? Sunshine. He doesn't give a shit about James Robinson now that ATN's healthy.
Right. I hear you on that.
So let's have a look at the schedule. Not that we don't know all the rest of the games coming up.
Green Bay, Chicago, Bills.
Okay, Miami. That's a pick 'em. We could. I won't say should. We could beat them. We're gonna beat Green Bay. We're not gonna beat the Bears.
No, we should.
Not on the road. I mean, whatever. Take your pick. Like let's
get our first win on the road. Come back home.
Since God was a child. No, after the Bears is the Giants. We're not winning that. We're definitely not winning that game.
The Jags are trying to get relevant to make the London sale more profitable, so we'll have a game with them.
That could potentially be 2 wins in a row. We're beating the Bills on Thanksgiving. Promise.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't either.
Unless somehow Josh Allen gets injured and we're playing the backup.
Who's Case Keenum? We can't beat Case Keenum. It was Mitch Trubisky. We can't beat him either.
How long before they put Mitch Trubisky back in at the Steelers with Kenny Pickett throwing 3 picks yesterday? And 1 touchdown.
Never. They're not looking back.
I had to say it.
Jordan Pennington doesn't want them to win another game. He was just incensed, like smoke coming out of his ears when they beat who they beat 2 weeks ago.
Wasn't it Miami?
No, someone better than that.
Oh no,
Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, what the fuck? Okay, so wait, one win. Dolphins, maybe. Let's say we win that. 2. Packers win. That's 3. So 3-5. At Bears, that's 3-6. At Giants, 3-7. Bills, 4-7.
James Burgess. Josh Allen will have too much tryptophan in his system and fall asleep at halftime.
You better hope so.
Actually, we'll be eating my turkey outdoors again for the Bills game. That's cool.
So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6 or 7 wins isn't out of the question still.
5, 6 maybe if we beat the Panthers. I still want to go down there and hang out with my friends, but I don't want to lose to the Panthers.
You don't want to be there and have them lose.
Sure don't.
Okay, and starting next week on Thursday, I am going to start doing a draft and college playoff talk show at 9 p.m. Dom?
Hang on, be right back.
Learn how to do the oiled fried turkey in 30 minutes back in the 90s when Sanders was worth the price of a ticket. And James Burgess says, cool, I will catch that, Jeremy. Yeah, I got a gentleman who's a Cleveland Browns fan that's really big into the college playoff rankings and all of that stuff, and he's going to be with me. His name is Lawrence. I met him through one of the other groups I'm a fellow admin of. So he's going to be doing a whole segment on the college playoff rankings and the whole college playoff picture.
Oh, so he likes the toddler ball because Watson got suspended for too many games?
No, he actually is a decent fan. He's knowledgeable. That's what I was getting at.
I must say, like, this particular year of college football has got me very intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of good teams. There's been a lot of teams that we thought would be okay that aren't that okay. OSU Michigan will be huge this year in all likelihood. We were talking about it on another show.
I was going to say, when did you ever think you would hear me in my life say that Michigan looks for real?
Yep. That being said, this has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I want to tell everybody the same thing I do at the end of every show. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. My other final thought is, it is the second year of a rebuild. Brad Holmes can call it a retool, a restructure, whatever the fuck he wants to call it. It's a rebuild. And James Burgess says, you guys have a great night. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all Wednesday with the NFL Roundtable Talk. Again, good evening.
Don't give that man a pass. Spay and neuter your pets.